Some things are just so simple they need no explanation. I mean, air guitar. What's there to say except the Kansas City Championships were held this summer and it's a lot of fun to watch. John McGrath has a story for Arts Upload.
On one level, yes, it's a joke. We know we're not playing guitars. In fact, we're not trying to play guitar. We're not mimicking like we're playing guitar. We're playing the air guitar. It's a very different instrument. The air guitar gives you more freedom. When you watch somebody play the guitar, they are encumbered by what chords they're creating and where their fingers are supposed to be on the fret, but we don't have that. We have way more freedom than that. We can basically interpret the song as we see fit.
Thank you so much for coming to the Kansas City qualifier.
Basically, we're gonna have a first round tonight where everybody does 1 minute. They air guitar to a song that they've been working on for months. They're gonna have crazy costumes. They're gonna have whatever the hell else they bring here to entertain a crowd for 1 hot minute. So it's a pretty intense competition. We've got 20 people signed up, and these people have put a lot of work into their costumes and their routines. So I'm expecting nothing less than awesome tonight. Our defending Kansas City champion is Air Jesus, who is the savior of KC Air Guitar.
I'm the one to beat.
But he's gonna face a lot of stiff competition from Peter Stiff Dickens, who is a 2-time US Air Guitar national finalist. We have newcomers like Freddie Fingers, who was here last year, and this is his 2nd year. We have Pork Sword, a perennial favorite. Last year we also had Crystal Richter, who changed her name to Cinderella.
It's definitely male-dominated, but it's not, they are not exclusive at all. Everybody, the air guitar community is very inclusive. We all root for each other, even though we're competing against each other. We talk with each other most of the year anyway, and we're always here to help each other, even with our routines. We'll look at each other's routines and give each other pointers.
So no gender bias here?
No, not at all. I mean, sometimes the guys might be jealous because we can rock sexy a little better than they can, but, you know, besides that, there's not really any gender bias. It's so much fun. You have to be able to let go of your shame if you're going to be competing on that stage.
Air guitar, you get a chance, everybody has a chance to release their inner golden god.
I've had several people come up to me after air guitar shows and say, that's the most fun I've had at a club in a long time. It's, you know, it's what it is, man. It's a live experience. You're never gonna understand it until you see it live.